Alright guys, today I got something really, very weird and exciting to show you. Some genius named Maciel310, or perhaps 310, has figured out how to get the Game Boy Advance online playing an MMO of some sort. It's inspired by RuneScape, although there's really not much game there. It's very technical demo-y, but I'll show you it. It requires, first of all, a Raspberry Pi, because it plugs into the GPIO headers. I'll put a picture of that right here. I had to solder a cable from a Game Boy link cable into a Raspberry Pi connected to the internet. That's how it gets its network connectivity. We need a little helper program, which they call host, and once I run this, it will bootstrap a ROM onto the Game Boy. And this is a Game Boy Advance attached to a GameCube through the Game Boy player. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to host. To create an account, first enter your email. It is walnut.alligator@gmail.com. Enter your character name, Loggy, because log was taken, and it's waiting for the Game Boy Advance. So there it is. The Game Boy Advance is loaded, and I should get a brand new account. Loading complete. Connecting to GBA-MMO. And here I am. So this is like hands, I guess. Welcome, take a look around the town. There's a bank chest to the west, and portals to Lumberridge and Varrock to the east. If it isn't too much trouble, could you help me out? I could really use wood and rock. I'll reward you handsomely for your trouble. You can find wood by cutting down a tree and lumber ridge. Alright, so, and there's a bank system implemented. Other than that, there's not too much here. But hey, look at this. We're online on a Game Boy Advance. How cool is that? So cool. Andrew Gower was once asked about the possibility of putting RuneScape on the Game Boy Advance, and he was like, that wouldn't be very cool because it would have to be offline. He was right. It would have to be offline. But this one is online, for some reason, somehow. Welcome to Lumber Ridge. I see this is your first time here. Yes, it is. Here, take this hatchet. You can use it to chop down trees in the area for wood. Welcome again to Lumber Ridge. So here's a tree, and it has a little bubble over your head, just like RuneScape Classic does. I'm not sure how to tell when you get wood. It doesn't play a sound or anything, you just have to check, but eventually the tree does come down. You have gained a level. You're now at level 1. That's right, you start at level 0 in this MMO. Are you interested in a bit of fishing? This is a great spot for it. Here, take this rod. Cast it into those rocks over there, and you're sure to catch something. Once I caught a fish that was as tall as me. Alright. So there I go fishing. You've gained a level. I caught a fish. And that's everything in Lumberridge. There's just a bunch of trees here, which you can continue chopping, just like, in RuneScape. There's some type of bench here you can't sit on, but you also can't walk through it, so that's your interaction with it. And there is a house which you can't go into. So that's Lumber Ridge. Then, I wonder if this guy has anything to say after I've chopped wood. There's an old quarry in Varrock where you could gather some rock, he says as he drifts to the right a little bit. I thought that might be like a floating point error, but I'm not sure that it's not actually intentional. The NPCs just kind of drift like that. I think they're probably walking. That's like way too big to be floating point error. Hello there, and welcome to Varrock. Feel free to use our quarry whenever you'd like. Here, take this pickaxe. You can use it to gather some rocks. Oh yes, we have the most important skills. You've gained a level. You're now at 1. So this is Var Rock, which makes sense, I guess. That's where the rocks are at, Var Rock. When I was playing this earlier, the developer told me that it was probably the first time that 2 players had ever been online at the same time. Unfortunately, I didn't get any footage from that. There we go. Excellent, you've brought me the supplies. Here's 1,000 coins as a thank you. So, yeah, if I go in my bank now, I should see my 1,000 coins. Yep. And I can deposit my fish, and there they are. And I can deposit my tools, and there those are. And that's the entire game. The very coolest thing about this is that it's on a Game Boy and it's online. They did the hardest part. They haven't committed to this since June of 2021, and that was a year and a half ago at the time of filming. So I feel like they're done with it, even though it's very obviously not an entire game. All the technical impressive pieces are in place. The bootloading without a flash cart is done. There's online connectivity, obviously very, the point of this. There is like enough of a game here that you can call it a game, and it pays tribute to Varrock and Lumber Ridge. So I feel like this is this would be like a really good base for actually making RuneScape for the Game Boy Advance, because they did all the hard parts. But in order to bring it to the masses, it needs to be like a Wii homebrew. Instead of Raspberry Pi based, requiring soldering and Linux skills. Yeah, I actually had to like compile some software myself to get this far. Yeah, it needs to be like a Wii homebrew that you can just buy an existing GameCube, Game Boy Advance link cable, and then load it that way. That way, like, at least there's a chance that somebody with both a Game Boy link cable, which costs like $15 on Amazon, and a Nintendo Wii hacked, that would lower the barrier to entry, but it's still a lot. But it would be where it would need to go next to like reach people. Nevertheless, I'm so proud to be one of the probably 4 or 5 people that have ever had their Game Boy Advances connected over the internet for some purpose, unless there's some other project I don't know about. Thanks for watching. If you want to try it out, if you've got a soldering iron, go ahead and view the links in the description. Thank you.